Let's jump right in. Welcome back to another explainer. Since you're already following this topic, you know that saving our environment goes way beyond big macro-level policies, right? It really hinges on the micro habits we build every single day. So today, we're unpacking the fascinating science and the hidden logistics of waste recovery. Now, I know you've likely already optimized your life for reducing and reusing. You guys are pros at that. But what actually comes next when we want to forge a truly sustainable life cycle for the materials we consume? I mean, when an item literally cannot be reduced or reused anymore, what do? Well, we have to lean on a third, highly leveraged mechanism. Section 1. The Alchemy of Recycling. Honestly, I like to think of recycling as the modern alchemy of waste. It's this wild process of taking discarded materials, stuff like empty polymers or scrap fibers, and essentially magically transforming them back into brand new virgin equivalent products. It's an absolutely incredible closed-loop system. It completely bottlenecks the exponential growth of landfills, and at the same time, it drastically conserves our raw extracted resources. Section 2. The Rules of the Power. But to make the system actually work, we have to understand the specific elements we're playing with here. Your primary targets are your paper, plastic, glass, and metal. Specifically, we're talking clean cardboard, PET water bottles, glass jars, and aluminum cans. But here is the catch, and it's a big one. They come with really strict processing rules. You definitely can't just toss them into a bin and, hope for the best. Proper material recovery actually relies on a very specific three-step pipeline. First up, you have to empty the container completely. This is huge for preventing moisture damage to the other recyclables. Second, take those caps off, especially on plastics. They're often made of high-density polymers that melt at completely different temperatures than the bottles themselves. And finally, sort them precisely based on your own municipal infrastructure. Executing these steps is what ensures the recovery process actually functions. Section 3. The threat of contamination. Now, every system has a weakness, right? And the greatest vulnerability in this one is contamination. Let's look at a standard cardboard box. When it's clean, it's highly recyclable, completely ready to be pulped and remashed. But the second it becomes a dirty, greasy pizza box, well, those food oils permanently alter the paper fibers. It literally can no longer be processed. Honestly, food residue is the ultimate enemy of recycling. So this is exactly why sorting correctly is absolutely critical. If you toss that greasy pizza box into the bin, you aren't just wish cycling. You're actively endangering the entire supply chain. Seriously, a single unrecyclable or dirty item can spoil a whole batch of clean materials. And when that happens, the facilities are forced to divert that entire batch straight to the landfill. Just think about that. The whole system fails over one single contaminated item. Section 4. Community recycling heroes. To see the real-world impact when we actually defeat contamination, let's look at a super cool case study from our sources. In one small town, poor sorting was leading to just massive amounts of waste. But a group of local kids decided to take grassroots action. They actually organized a Recycle Right Day. They took the exact principles we just discussed, cleaning, decapping, sorting, and they mobilized their entire neighborhood to teach everyone exactly how to do it. And this perfectly illustrates the compound power of proper waste habits. Because of that one community initiative, contamination dropped sharply. The local facility was suddenly processing pure, clean batches, which drastically reduced the volume of trash going to the landfill. It's absolute proof that micro-level community habits scale up to massive systemic ecological victories. Section 5. Your recycling mission. Okay, let's turn the lens back to you and your own daily habits. Here is your actionable mission. Make sorting an automatic reflex every single day. Always check for cleanliness before you toss something. And take the initiative to really learn your local municipal guidelines, because processing capabilities totally vary depending on where you live. Try setting up intuitive sorting stations at home. By becoming a recycling master and combining this with reduction and reuse, you completely close the loop. Which brings us to our final thought. You now understand the true mechanics of material recovery. You know the rules, you know the hidden costs of contamination, and you see the massive impact of a clean waste stream. So, look at the items in your hands differently today. They aren't just garbage. They are future resources waiting to be leveraged. How will you use this knowledge today to make a real, lasting impact on our planet? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time as we continue to decode the world around us.